All right, we'll open up the Clarksburg Selectmen meeting for Monday, February 3rd, 2025 at 5 p.m. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So, before Carl left, he was working on increasing our wages for the staff of the town because we have not kept up with even inflation really going on over the last few years. So Ron, I don't know if you want to...
Yeah, I'll speak to
Can I
that.
just step in? He didn't do a roll call.
Oh, you never have before.
We got...
I think for executive session we have,
Yeah.
for a
You don't
meeting.
roll call your meetings?
There's only three of us.
I know, but you're the board.
If anybody knows, it'd be her, so I'm not gonna question it. I used to always do roll call.
All right, we'll make a roll call vote.
Not vote, just roll.
Bob Norcross present.
Dan Haskins present.
Cole Manager's present.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. We have a quorum.
All right, and now...
Do you wanna go off the agenda?
Well,
So
actually...
you wanna move stuff up?
Let's go off...
To talk about that first?
I'd like to go off Maryland's agenda, so we'll just go in order and we'll take it at...
Yeah, okay.
All right, so Maryland would like us to present the reimbursement for the town clerk and read the letter from the clerk. So, I want to read it. Dear Select Board members, I would like to request that the reimbursement to the town clerk be eliminated. The fee for vital records, birth, death, and marriage, business certificate, marriage intentions are reimbursement to the clerk. The clerk receives 75 cents per dog license. All of these are part of the clerk's duties during the working hours. The reimbursement to the clerk probably became part of the salary because years ago the clerk worked from their home with limited hours. It was just a policy that had continued over many years. The town now has a permanent part-time town clerk working 16 hours a week, which allows the clerk to effectively do these duties during working hours. The attached shows the amount of fees that have been paid to the clerk for the 2024. And there's a list of fees that we have. And Marilyn did talk to Donna, our accountant, about it, and she agreed that this was probably something set up years ago when our town clerk worked out of the home a few hours, and this was part of her pay. But now that we have actual hours here, that Marilyn felt like it's like double dipping and something she feels should be corrected. So I'd like to thank Marilyn for that because I appreciate her honesty and her trying to do what's best for the town. But I would like to have a motion.
Make a motion to eliminate the reimbursement policy for the town clerk in regards to collection of fees for vitals and dog licenses.
I'll second.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So in place of that, she would like to receive the cost of living increase every year. So what it does two things. It helps build the base of that position. She may not be here forever, we hope she stays forever, but whoever comes in, it just keeps it more attractive.
One bad day away, right?
Well, she's next to me now, so she has to put up with me.
Now it's
So,
Okay, and now also, there's been an issue where people come in and they'll pay for dog license and things like this, and they'll pay with cash, and sometimes they have bigger bills, and we have no petty cash or any way to do that, so it just creates inconvenience. So again, I'll read what Marilyn would like to do, our town clerk would like to do. Dear Select Board members, I would like to respectfully request that the town clerk's office have a small amount of petty cash. Occasionally, a customer will have a large bill to pay for their transaction, and I don't have any cash to make change. I'm thinking about $50 denominations of 10s, 5s, and 1s. Respectfully submitted, Marilyn Gummo. So again, as long as there's I know we're going to Mass DOT and stuff, a lot of people don't like to have petty cash around because they feel it's hard to keep track of. But I feel with a small amount and our clerk, I really think it's necessary.
Absolutely. No, I make a motion to implement a petty cash availability for the town clerk to perform her duties.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next on this one is report of the school roof. I was having a little issue because Kristen Recco has been really busy, and will get back to me within a week from our meeting. And I have not heard from her until today, and then Ron also heard from her today. And she said that the couple people that are intricate in trying to get this on the fast track have been real busy in January. They're not able to get together. She was talking to them today, and she said that she would let us know. I guess the bad news sort of is that the money that was in the capital campaign from Adam Hines 7 years ago is gone by the board. I guess it's a 5-year rotating thing. So she said that we are going to have to go through the Massachusetts Building Association. And I wrote back, I said, the only problem with that, I said, I don't mind going through it. I said, we have matching funds for the roof, and, we want to do more than that. But I said that the roof is becoming kind of an emergency situation. So she's going to see what she can do. I don't know where we're going to be, but obviously we want to do something. And Ron, I know you've been working on the school roof, if you'd like to.
Yeah, so as you guys know, I've tried to keep you in the loop. I put out RFP for, I have a site visit scheduled for next Thursday, February 13th at 1 o'clock.
With who?
There's about 8 different contractors
Okay.
coming in.
No, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
I got 8. I sent them the unfortunate thing, we didn't have any schematics really to go off. I just had a scope of work,
Okay.
which I forwarded on to everybody. But everybody's been responding well. Got a couple of guys one, I told Bob today, one guy was kind of upset because no one got back to him the first time. I said, well, listen, whatever it is, there's a change here.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You'll be in the loop.
Blame it on the prior administration.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, and then March 6th is the deadline. We'll open bids on March 6th, they're due by March 6th.
Okay.
But what we need to do, and I've been talking with Marilyn back and forth, chances are, if you went through a school project, it's gonna be 5 years down the road. We need to get it done now.
Oh, I think we just.
Yeah, we gotta do borrowing. And
Debt exclusion.
Yeah, 5 years, falls off the books after 5 years. We just need to get it taken care of. Also, with that, I had Maryland reach out to the state and put a ballot question on the ballot about if the community would support a school project. And what it does, I think what this does, and I told Bob this, because a lot of people are apprehensive. They want to see, well, you supported this, you didn't support
Yeah,
it.
so if it goes about when's town meeting?
Town meeting is
May 20,
It would be the town election it would go to, which is May 14th,
May 14th. Yeah.
whatever that.
So what I want to do, what I'd like to do, if you guys okay,
Yeah.
I'm so used to gotta ask you guys, I'm used to doing it. That's my problem. But, no, what I'd like to do with your approval is, put a non-binding ballot question on there. And I was gonna go to KP Law and get their intervention on it to make sure it's worded properly, so it's not confusing for the people.
Correct, yeah.
And what I'd like to do is maybe hold, maybe 1 or 2 informational meetings for the public. We can maybe hold them at the school, I don't know if that's possible.
Do we want to do it, when do you want to do it? What are you thinking, end of March, April?
Yeah, I wanna give them enough time, so. if
I'd say realistically, you do the end of March, mid-April, and then,
Yeah, and then at least we'll have an idea, and I can get some, some rough figures, it's lots changed from 18, but.
and then if there's any proponents or opponents, it
Well, they will be.
gives everybody.
They will be, but again, but I just think, letting it go to the ballot box, it's a good way of doing it. People aren't antagonized by anybody. You go in that box, you vote yes or no, and no one knows, and no one cares, who knows?
I think the good part about it too is, you're right, because realistically, if it leans one way or the other,
Yeah.
it's gonna give our state officials at least an idea if we're basically have just kind of thrown in the towel and
Well, yeah, again, I think John Francis, he's talked about it, we all talk about it, it's just you gotta make a decision, right? We can talk about it, go back and forth, and, you know, with the group that Bob put together, did some nice things, but at the end of the day, he needs more.
Yeah.
You know, so we're gonna make that decision as a community. So if the community does support it, then we got the vote, that's an actual vote that says, hey, our community supports a school project, let's move forward with it. Again, they have to know the good, the bad, the ugly, too.
And this would be based on doing like a full.
Yeah,
Right, yeah, and I'm wondering, we'll have to have some discussion on.
yeah, we need to have some discussion.
Because I'm wondering, it'll be non-binding,
Yeah.
but I'd like to get what people think, so I'm wondering if it should be, are you in favor, like, of a new school?
Right.
Are you in favor of an accelerated renovation, or are you in
But
favor?
the problem is with the accelerated renovation, that's only for particular
Yeah.
projects.
Windows, roofs, yeah.
It's very limited on the scope of what that it covers.
And I think we should, because I think they said it's not gonna open back up the Accelerate program for another 2 years after this deadline closes.
I don't honestly think the accelerated program is even worth looking at, because what needs to be done there.
I don't think it was
is not what
I was
qualifies.
thinking like for the windows, for 2 to 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
Or not, it's not gonna work for the roof, because we got rid of the roof this year. I'm just thinking we try to get the ball rolling for windows. It doesn't mean we have to commit to it, but at least if we can get approved for it, and we start doing renovations on our own, 2 to 3 years, we get all new windows throughout the school, you know, we got a new roof out, and, you know, from there, we just start.
Well, I do know on the school board's agenda, I think, for their upcoming meeting, is to basically put an itemized list of things that need to be done in the school. And I think we all know, if you take one walk through that building, it's pretty obvious there's some drastic changes that need to be made, or not, however it plays out. It's just, it's, like I said, I'm pretty vocal about it. The chips are gonna fall where they fall.
The only thing that concerns me a little bit, I'll be honest with you guys, is say if you went the accelerated program, you're still gonna have a payment for that. And then it doesn't take care of all of the necessities it needs to take care of in that school.
Yeah, you're basically gonna get the windows done, and then I think any chance you had of looking at the option of doing a new school down the road goes completely out the window, because the state, if you're in that accelerated, then it's, you might as well kiss any sort of new school goodbye.
Yeah. Like just did that accelerated program, they did windows and
Right.
whatever, but they haven't gotten paid yet either.
No, right, the reimbursement's not done.
Correct.
It's just that obviously I have different opinions, because I look at, we put $1 million into the school, we got the boilers in the school, we got the new thing, the foundation's good. It's like I look at renovations the only way I go, you're not, in my opinion, I don't think the town will fund a new school, they didn't 7 years ago, and,
Well, here's the other thing, how are we gonna fund renovations though?
well, see, again, you get renovations through grants, and we've gotten.
I know, but what I'm saying is that with the renovations that need to be done there,
Yeah.
I just don't, think about it, we're not even getting any backup or support on $500,000 in matching funds for the roof. I think if we're gonna lean on the option of saying, okay, we're gonna get money from the state through grants and everything else for renovations of the school, they're basically gonna say, make a decision. I just don't see it, Bob, I just don't. It's been pretty obvious that we're not getting money from the state now. I don't know why they
Well, but that's because I feel you probably haven't looked at what we've done over the last 2 years, that big listed tub of sheets. We've gotten a lot of grants. We got grants for the boilers, which are $96,000. We had an abatement for the asbestos around that. We also got the lift that we did.
Which is ADA compliancy.
Yeah.
The boilers are obviously heating in those systems.
Yeah.
And
But
then
then
asbestos is one of those things that the state's gonna take care of regardless. But I think this is where it gets down to, granted, a lot of it's the cosmetics.
Right.
That's not gonna
But-
qualify for many grants.
But, and I just, what I'm worried about, you're gonna go for all or none, and you're gonna have the two options. And if we get none, if they vote it down again, we're in trouble. And that's why this was the only option we had when the school was voted down. It was like, what are we gonna do? We had to go for renovation, and that's when we had the engineer look at the foundation, and we looked at what we could do. We formed a committee, we put $1 million, the town voted, put $1 million, well, $500,000 in, but then through grants, we got another up to $500,000 of volunteerism, $500,000, and we've done a lot of work, and that's, a lot of people out there are gonna look at that, so that's for naught. You're gonna just waste that and tear the school down and build a new one. I don't see it going.
I don't think it was for naught. It was to maintain the ongoing system. So I can't look at, you can't look at it as, well, it was all for nothing. I think if you have to look at a long-term 20, 30-year approach, yeah, it was short-term in some aspects, but not in the long term.
I also think we need another meeting around this, because we gotta have it on the agenda more specific.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to talk about the future of the Northern Berkshire School Union, what we doing, what are we getting from it, we're up to 54%.
Yeah.
Of our dues, and all that's gotta be talked about this before we can go to a ballot question box. We gotta give them a choice. If the choice is gonna be only new school or try to merge in North Adams, you're missing an option of renovation, which is an option you could have, that the town could get grants and through debt exclusions, do what they can to repair that school. We've already done a lot. And I don't want to see that taken off the table.
How big of a debt exclusion could we do?
Well,
We did $1 million last time.
No, $1 million isn't gonna buy anything nowadays. How large would it? Because that's the problem, you almost have to propose and say, and this is the issue too. You can't even cut off the numbers of what the renovation cost would have been 7 years ago.
Right.
And say, okay, this is to give you somewhat of an idea, this is probably what you could be looking at for somewhat of a tax increase, like every other community that's I'll be honest with you, I've seen it quite frequently down my side of the mountain for work. Every community has this come up, and every time it passes. We're really one of the few isolated areas that hasn't passed into a school in the Berkshires and really Massachusetts in general. But you at least get an idea of what you're, like town of Agawam, they're building a new $250 million high school. They had a pretty close idea for their residents of what the tax increase was gonna be. Granted, it was substantial, but the town voted in favor of it pretty overwhelmingly. So it wasn't,
I just think.
it can't be cloak and mirrors, like, well, it could, your taxes could increase by $1,000, but you, at the same time, you get the debt exclusion.
7 years ago,
We have to see it.
Yes.
7 years ago, it was going to increase the tax rate $3.75 per year for 40 years.
What was our tax rate 7 years ago? Because we're down considerably from what it was back then, correct?
I don't think we're down considerably, but we're definitely down a little bit.
down until
But
we
also,
get-
in those 40 years, you got 5 other town buildings, what are you gonna do? You're gonna put a new roof, you're gonna fix this, you're gonna fix the DPW when it needs fixed? How about the senior center? That's gonna need a new roof in 40 years. You just say, the heck with all those other buildings, we'll put all our money into the school for 40 years, that's where everything's going? I don't see how the town is gonna vote for that. They did the last time. It was overwhelmingly defeated by 72 votes or something like that. And I don't see it turning around because of the cost of the school. It was $19 million back 7 years ago. And look at the Graylock School, what it's gonna cost. I figure it's gotta cost $30 million to put a new school in. And that is a lot of money. And I just don't see 700 residents going to pay for that. And I'd hate to see us, I just wanna have an alternative in case it doesn't go that way for a new school. If it does, that's one thing. But if it doesn't, I don't want the only option to be, oh, they'll close the school down and go to North Adams. It's like, no, I think we can keep repairing it and keep going.
Is there a way, Ryan, to project if we, say you did a debt exclusion of, Tammy, do not write this, off the right. Say if it was, we were gonna allocate $7 or $8 million, or $9 million, to say, okay, we're really gonna put us for whatever we could get for basically $9 million, which I still think is gonna be fairly limited. Could we get at least somewhat of an idea with a debt exclusion of that total value of what the tax increase could be?
I can get you an idea what it would cost us.
To say, okay, if it's gonna cost each taxpayer, say, this is really just ballpark, say $750 per year extra, but this is what we're gonna get.
Yeah.
To at least do kind of a cause and effect. And then, okay, so you have kind of your mid-range of, this is kind of your middle-of-the-road option of what possibility could be.
Yeah.
Or, say for, $1,200 or $1,300, you could build a brand-new school.
Yeah.
That's your high-end option. And then your low-end option is to basically throw your hands up and, I guess, unfortunately, look at the inevitable.
I guess there's a way to know like what the percentage is. Because, say if someone knows your tax bill is $5,000 a year, well, it's gonna go up 10%, Wagner versus the person that's paying 3,000, you know, there's one going up 300, so yeah.
Correct.
Kind of like what he's saying, if we can kind of get like a percentage figure
Yeah.
on it.
I hear you.
think that'd be
I
helpful.
agree with you. It's tough because you don't have solid numbers, but you get an idea.
Because I think everybody looks at, I think everybody looks at taxes differently from each perspective.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody enjoys paying taxes, but at the same time, and I've said this before, if you want to have things, you have to pay, but you can't expect to get everything for nothing, kind of like scenario where if I know my tax dollars are going to go towards X, Y, and Z, I'm fine with the increase. Because you know what? I know it's going to go to bettering the community and bettering the town as a whole. But if it's kind of left in limbo of like, well, we're going to do an increase and we're going to sprinkle a little here, sprinkle a little there, some people don't see the cause and effect of what their increase and what they're paying for and what they really get.
I agree with that.
So.
I agree with that. So we can look into it, you know, I don't even know what our borrowing capacity is or what we can borrow.
I don't-
And that's up to sit down with the treasurer.
We never, that's the thing, the town never borrows money.
If we need to know, you know, and, so I'll work on that with the treasurer and I'll get you some kind of an idea what it would cost.
Because that could be an issue too, because if the town doesn't borrow money to,
We don't have any debt, there's zero debt.
well, that's the thing, if the town has no debt, there's no real large-scale investment in whatever, infrastructure, whatever else it is, the bonding capacity.
Well, I don't even have a bond rating.
Well, that's almost kind of concerning to an extent too, that
Yeah.
even if we wanted to do something, if we don't have a bond
Right.
rating,
Yeah.
we can't even walk in to get finance for anything, and be like, well, here, we've got a track record of doing it.
Well, that's a concern of mine too, you know what I mean? So, it's a lot of things, it's almost like putting the cart in front of the horse in a way, but we need to figure that out.
So we do, and we also have to keep in mind,
Yeah.
our roads are falling. The other road, Cross Road,
The only good part about that is the governor's budget came out, there's gonna be, from what it looks like, Clarksburg was listed, I think we're in the 63% increase from last year to this year, what our chapter 90 money
Yeah.
increase should be, so that,
Carl said it'll be about 125,000.
which realistically is obviously better than we've been receiving. Hopefully our grant application process this year will be more efficient and hopefully more receptive to being awarded particular grants. I'm being optimistic on that end. So, not to say that that's gonna be deferred, because I think it's that, to me, there's more options and a bigger pile of money to chase after, particularly for that, than there is to say, okay, we need X, Y, and Z grants for the school. We know that the chapter 90 and how that.
You know what I've noticed, I think it's, in so many ways, they've made the grant process a lot easier today.
Oh, 100%.
But the biggest issue is not getting the money, it's managing it at the other end. And that's the most important, that's the thing I see, there's a lot of issues with. You gotta be on top of these things. And, you know, yes, you have to be, and I can see where sometimes there's never ever a reason we should ever return any money back from any grant.
No, you shouldn't.
Never.
Because if we don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're giving money back, they're looking at you in the state, well, we gave you X, Y, Z, we're not using it.
Oh, yeah, next time, we're not gonna give you as much, so.
Yeah.
I appreciate the increase in the chapter 90 funds.
Yeah.
But that one culvert on Middle Road we did last year was $120,000. That's it. So you want to do culverts, so you got to pave roads. Paving roads is about $1 million a mile. So, you know,
I said his chapter money's got probably around 400,000, plus whatever he gets from the state, so we'll have whatever we're.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're gonna go after everything we can, you know.
But it's just that the roads and things are falling apart. The town is not. keeping up.
Daniel's Road's atrocious, it needs
Oh, my
help.
gosh.
There's a lot of
It's
places.
awful.
So, you know, we talk about the school, and that school's very important, but as I sit here as an administrator, I have to look at the big picture.
Oh, true.
I do, you know what I mean? But I also want to understand, there's urgency right now at that school to get that roof taken care of.
Correct.
No doubt. And then, I think if we plan this the right way and give informational meetings to the public, to let them know, hey, this is the good, the bad, the ugly, we're gonna have a ballot question. You know, and I think that's the best way to go. I think so. That's just my opinion.
I agree. I think you're gonna get somewhat of a true temperature of what people are willing to understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always have, and I've gotten calls already from people that are, no, the no coalition, which, that's fine, everybody has a right to their opinion, that's fine, you know what I mean? So,
Like I say, West Town, and the last time, the only way we got the debt exclusion for $1 million was $500,000 that was gonna go into the roads.
yeah, exactly, when I did it, we did that 500 and 500, yeah.
The people are not gonna sacrifice the town for the school.
No.
And that's what I think we're gonna be asking for.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
Yeah, I don't, that's the way it,
We like that equal representation.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the structure too to worry about, stuff like that, so it's a lot of things, but, so we gotta do best we can with what we get, right? So, that's what I'll try to do.
All right,
you sure you wanted this job?
Jack Daniels.
the next on the list is, the update on your,
Yeah.
OPEB account. And Kelly did a lot of research, and, it's gonna cost, $6,100.
Yeah, I got a little blurb if you want me to read it for us. So, the OPEB account, which is other post-employment benefits, so after retirement, okay? So, we currently have about $3,500 in the account in our OPEB trust fund as of now. The policy would create in dealing with after post-employment benefits, it's been recommended that 2% of our free cash every year gets deposited into a committed account. They're gonna do an actuarial study.
Yep.
To determine the total, but the cost is somewhere around $3,200 a year to properly fund it going forward. And what that does, that covers retirees where the insurance doesn't cover, like dental, eyes, and all that stuff. It helps.
And I think Kelly had stated, this has been an issue on our audits, I think, every year for
Yeah.
quite a while, that
Yeah.
this has
Yeah.
not been
Yeah.
funded.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I unfortunately, it's, we
There's things you gotta
can't
do.
keep deferring things down the road and
No,
thinking we're going.
no,
Usually
usually
for $3,200 a year to be compliant.
Well, that's all, and that's all, you know what I mean? It's just doing the right thing, basically.
100%. No,
You know?
I agree.
And that's what we gotta do, the right thing, so.
I agree.
All right. Next, we have the cost of living for town employees. I'd say Carl did a great job at wanting to get our staff salaries up to where we will never be competitive with the cities or whatever, but to get them up to where we're reasonable so we can keep people working here in town and so we can attract people to apply for positions. Like, we wanted to have a fourth DPW guy, and we just didn't have anybody qualified there to go. So anyway, Ron came up with a sheet that we should all take a look at and decide that this is what we want to have for the salaries. Ron, you want to?
Yeah, I'll touch on it. I just want to recognize Carl. Carl did put a lot of work into this. It takes time. He took figures from other communities. Kyle got some figures, and they put some stuff together. And I found the thing, and I know Bob said it was important, and I think it is important because we do have a very good staff here, DPW and Town Hall. And our problem is sometimes we're definitely a lot lower than other communities. So technically, we become a springboard to other communities, or if we want to fill that vacancy, it's hard to fill those vacancies when your wages are significantly lower. So what I did is took what Carl started and I tried to finish it up, and it's here for you guys to review. The figures, I'll tell you, the end figures, at the end of the day, the wage line items with these increases, you're looking at somewhere probably around $50,000 a year increase. But that'll bring all the employees up to a standard where I think is fair, we're competitive, and again, you don't want people to leave, but they do, and if you need to fill those vacancies, we're more competitive dollar-wise. And then there's step raises for licenses in there and stuff like that for the DPW guys. And then, again, myself and Kyle had a little discussion. I would like to maybe change his title a little bit. From foreman, DPW foreman to like a, I don't know if it'd be a supervisor or.
Superintendent.
Yeah, something like that. And then the next guy below him would be like the foreman.
Okay.
You know, so,
So like a little adjusting there, like that one line, another one.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to get it to you guys to take a look at, something we don't need to act on tonight, but if we want to do it, I'd like to get it done, if, be effective July 1st. But I think this would put us in a good position.
Yeah,
And it rewards, I have to say one thing here. Everybody wears multiple hats here, which I noticed. They're not afraid to help out and do what they need to do.
Absolutely.
There's a prime example right there. She's coming in doing the minister, or assistant sick. You know, I see that with everybody here. They're willing to do extra. So I think in many cases, we have the opportunity, we can do it, let's do it. It just creates a better morale and everything else. I think it's good.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah, I agree, and again, one thing that what Clarksburg has in mind, that, as I've mentioned many times, $1 on our tax rate only raises $161,000. I mean, it's peanuts.
Yeah.
And $1 on a tax rate's a lot, so, but luckily with this thing, I think some of these funds come out of the salary for a full-time police department. We are saving some money there, so maybe.
Yeah, so if you look at the bulk line item, it was $104,000 last year for police. So if you back out what we're paying the ex-chief, he's getting $24,400 a year with his 15 hours or whatever.
It was 80,000.
Yeah, so it is some money. So my biggest concern is I didn't want it to fall from the budget somewhere else.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to take care of the employees.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I think that money's been allocated, I think, for,
Yes, because you know how easy it is to go somewhere else.
Yep.
So I really want to take the time to see if we can do that for the employees. I think they're very deserving of it, so. You know, I have my short time here, so I'm fine.
I'm fine with passing this now, because I fully support it.
I did look at it, and I think it's reasonable, so I'm fine. I know, Dan, you would have to abstain from it. So,
Want to make the motion?
yeah, we can make a motion.
I make the motion to approve the cost of living increase and adjustments as proposed for effective.
Yeah, so just so you know, inclusive in there was a 3% cost of living in the wage.
Do you know that, is with inflation and else now, is 3% still the standard?
I think some places are less.
Yeah, actually, inflation has dropped back down though. I think it's like 2.5 or 2.6 or 7%.
Yeah.
So, 3%'s good now.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple of years ago it was way up.
Yeah.
I just know staff kind of.
But in essence, I want you guys to understand this, because I built this in here,
With the 3%, correct?
right, but the other jobs, the part-time jobs,
Yeah.
they need to have the cost of living adjustment, which is 3%. I figured in here would go,
Yeah.
yes, so just so you understand that.
Yeah, so if that's it, in my
If you
opinion,
guys
I
go
think
over
that's,
3%.
yeah, in my opinion, I think that's
And also
it.
then for people that don't fall in this category, part-time or whatever, we can make a motion.
I'm fine with that. So,
3%.
cost of living adjustments, sorry.
The new pay scale.
Yes, new pay scale approved as written, and then I make a motion to approve a 3% cost of living increase for our part-time and I guess listed employees, however you want to put it.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Just let Mel know that I abstained from that.
And Dan abstained. All right, well, thanks for working on it. And again, I do thank Carl, because Carl put a lot of time on this. I went up with him and he had
And actually,
every town around, and tried to be as fair as we could be.
And actually, I did replace Carl, but I just wanted to thank him for his diligence to the town, because he really cared about this town.
He does.
So, it is what it is, but, so, that's it for me.
Okay.
For now, to the next one.
Now we go down to the auction.
Yes, so, if I may, it was brought to my attention, there's a couple of parcels we took by tax lien up on Morris Drive. With the town, we went through everything's been, the deeds have been recorded, everything else, so it's been in town control for the last 3 years.
So, this is a parcel that have been abandoned for quite an extensive period of time, correct?
Yeah. So, there's two parcels, as noted. Parcel 162 and 137. I went up there this morning with Mike Williams.
157.
Yeah, 150, I'm sorry, 157. And what I'd like to get the permission is to put both of these out to auction. Last time we used Collar City auctioneers to do it. What I'd like the permission.
These are non-buildable lots, though, correct? Are these
Well,
not-
there's that one, but as you first come in, this 1.1 acres, but you got that brook that goes down behind. You know where Maynard's house is there? When you got the.
So this is basically like,
I think on the assessing map, and I clicked on it, it said unbuildable.
Yeah,
because the problem is, it's all hills. You
Yeah,
never-
yeah, someone may just want to grab it to have it, you know? The same with the other section, up again next to Norman Road up there. That's the light pension lines that go through the right of way, but there's that wooded area, it's a nice buffer zone in between. I don't, maybe something like that, he may be interested, I don't know, but listen, we might as well try if we can get some money for it.
Technically, I think this 162
Yeah, that
lot,
close.
this abuts the back of the messenger's property too, correct?
I think it goes pretty deep, yeah.
It does,
Yeah, yeah, so.
I'm gonna abstain from this vote, and, those lots were my father-in-law's, so I'm gonna abstain.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Dan, you
That's
wanna-
right, that's right, I'm doing it, so
Yeah,
I
I'll
looked
make-
at it.
I'll make a motion to give our town administrator authority to set up auctioning off lot number 162 and lot number 157. Correct.
I'll second it, all in favor? Aye. And Colton
Abstain.
abstains.
Thank you, guys.
Officially my first one.
Thank you.
All right, the select board minutes, we're gonna postpone to the next meeting.
Okay.
And, are there any public comments? All right, I think we can have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn. 38 minutes, nice.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.